And, yeah, this is a very serious one. There's a lot to it, actually, and I wanted to get stuck right into it. So an inquiry has been announced into allegations of more than 50 summary killings, executions, alleged executions, by SAS soldiers in Afghanistan. Now, the inquiry was called by government ministers and was made after years of reports that these elite British troops apparently kill civilians in cold blood. Well, in a statement to the House of Commons, the Minister for Defence, People and Veterans said the Ministry of Defence would concede to long-standing demands for an independent statutory inquiry after years of dismissing the idea. The inquiry will cover the period from mid-2010 to mid-2013. I can't help but feel as though there's a little bit more than meets the eye when it comes to this story. Our veterans all too often get hung out to dry in this country, whether or not it's to do with homelessness or lack of decent mental health care. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We are about to see disused military barracks being used to house people who've just come here across the channel, whilst potentially on the pavement outside there will be a veteran zipping up his sleeping bag and bracing for another night in the cold. That sickens me to the core. We also have had unrelenting historic prosecutions, people like Dennis Hutchins, who was acquitted twice of murder and actually sadly died while he was awaiting for his third trial for a historic prosecution based around the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Forgive me for being very sceptical about this current inquiry right now, but we will, of course, have to wait and see when it comes to all of these facts. Joining me now is Gallantry Medal holder and Veterans campaigner. It's Trevor Colt. Trevor, thank you very, very much. Right, your initial reaction to this inquiry, your views?
Another scapegoat inquiry, as far as I'm concerned. I'm getting sick of politicians bowing and taking a knee, let's say, to public interest lawyers and trying to use soldiers and those on the ground as a way of getting out of mistakes made by politicians. When I first heard it, I was, to be fair, I wasn't even surprised. But it's about time, Patrick, that, you know, veterans, regardless what we signed up to, veterans are being hounded and politicians are letting them go. Politicians are letting this happen. We have Johnny Mercer, who, is trying extremely hard behind the lines to fix things. But anything that soldiers did on the ground came from Whitehall. I worked in the time frame that you're talking about between 2010 and 2013, and it was my job to fly out and pick up high value targets, Al Qaeda and Taliban commanders, and bring them back in for questioning. And some of those guys that we brought in, right, were so evil. I don't understand why people are sticking up for them. These people were so evil. They were linked to IEDs. They were caught in DNA and biometrics. These guys had killed British soldiers, American, Canadian. They had killed coalition soldiers, and they were far too dangerous to hand over to the Afghan authorities, because the Afghan authorities were so corrupt that they used to let them go, and they would go back out on the battlefield and they would kill more British soldiers. So do you know what? These inquiries about did our special forces kill people on the ground? Our special forces job there was to go and seek the most dangerous people on the planet. Their job was to go and put their life on the line, to go out and to keep us safe. They had an extremely difficult job, and their job was either to capture or kill the evilest people on the planet. And you know what? They did a very good job.
And the allegations are about civilians, right? So that's the allegation. Roughly 53, 54, I think it is. Allegations of people being killed essentially in cold blood. Do you think there's more than meets the eye there? Is it very difficult to tell after the event, or indeed during the event, exactly who is a civilian in those kind of environments, do you think?
It's very easy to tell, Patrick. I'll tell you why. See, when the bullets start flying and the bombs start going off, civilians aren't there. Civilians disappear. I tell you now, whenever I was working in Afghanistan and the different missions that we did and fly out, there was no civilians there. Every single person that was on the ground, right, was obviously enemy, bad, and they were firing at us. So whenever people say you went into a village and you killed people, it's like, can you imagine somebody walking down the street now and firing a machine gun, right? Everyone that's a civilian disappears into hiding. The only people that are out on the ground are those that want to be engaged in a battle. So no, I do not believe that the Special Forces killed any innocent civilians. And if they did, which I doubt very much, where's this information coming from?
In your view, then, you're saying that you don't think that happened. We'll have to wait and see what this inquiry says. But where do you think these allegations are coming from? Why do you think that the families, presumably, of around 54 people are saying categorically that British Special Forces killed people in cold blood. Why do you think this is coming from? Why do you think our government is taking this so seriously?
Right. Well, first of all, our government are weak and woke, and our government bend the knee to every terrorist organisation in the world. And you know what? If you're an Afghan family, a Syrian family, it doesn't matter where you're from. Just go and tell the British government that they did something bad, because you know what? Everyone's looking for compensation. Lawyers want to make money. Public interest lawyers want to make money. And you know what we'll end up doing? We'll end up giving these Afghan families British passports, because that's probably what they're seeking for. They're seeking compensation and an easy ticket into the UK economy. There's nothing else to say about it.
Trevor, thank you very, very much. And I look forward to engaging with you going forward as well. The issue of veterans in this country is one that is very close to my heart as well. Just quickly, Trevor, a little bit off topic this, but this idea now that disused military barracks are potentially going to be used to house people that are coming over the channel. I mean, I'm keen to get your take on it, because there is a problem with veterans' homelessness here. You're on the telly at the minute. It might be worthwhile just having a quick view of you from that. What do you think?
Well, I think it's wrong. There is an empty barracks in Dover called Connacht Barracks. I think it's a perfect place. We spoke about this today, Patrick, and we speak about it, and you're a veteran supporter. I think that why not use this empty barracks in Dover to house homeless veterans, then use them homeless veterans to police our borders? Because our homeless veterans would be patriotic. No one would cross that channel if you stuck retired Navy, Army and Air Force as a border patrol, and then they house them in the barracks. So it's a win-win.